So. Hallo allerseits, herzlich willkommen zu Seers Isle auf der Nintendo Switch. Schauen wir mal. Language, Englisch oder Französisch? Gut. Tutorial. Introduction. Seers Isle is an interactive graphic novel. During your adventure you will be asked to make choices that will define how your story progresses. When one of your decisions influences the relationship between the protagonist and the other characters, one or two symbols light up on the top of the screen. The eye, the hand, the man on the deer. Okay. In Seers Isle, your progress is saved automatically. You won't be able to change the decisions you've made. However, the sum of your choices always leads to different scenarios. It's impossible to lose in Seers Isle. Choose wisely. Okay, das Interface. To progress in your reading, touch anywhere or press A. During your adventure, you will be regularly asked to make choices. To validate the choice, touch on the corresponding text displayed on the screen or navigate between the different options and press A. This is an example of a choice. Choose one of the two options to continue. Choice 1 oder 2. Okay. To skip forward through the text quickly, you can keep A pressed. On the top left of the screen, you find the log button. It allows you to read the latest lines of text again. It's also accessible by pressing minus. On the top right corner of the screen, there's the options menu. Allows you to access the settings, quit the game, go back to the main menu und mit Plus. Your progress is saved. Ja, das kennen wir schon. So, okay. So viel zum Tutorial. Lasset uns starten. Schauen wir mal. Okay, Achievements gibt's einige. Wahrscheinlich je nachdem, wie sich die Geschichte entwickelt. Seers Isle ist ein Interactive. Ja, das haben wir auch schon gelesen. Das haben wir auch schon gelesen. Okay. Gut. So. I was the wind. Time no longer existed. Disembodied solitude was my punishment. This was what the seers had decided. I saw the heathland coat itself in purple flowers. The grass yellow at leather. The leaves of 100-year oaks reddening and falling to cover the mossy undergrowth with orange-brown mold. The first snows of June. Not a living soul. I forgot who I was. Then they arrived. Kapitel 1 von 7, wie es aussieht. Cliffs. We're nearing a beach. There, do you see it? There's an undercurrent. If we put in head on, we won't have time to maneuver to avoid the reefs. I see it, but if we keep the sail full with the sea breeze, we should be fine, right? We're losing speed. If we don't do something, we'll drift towards the cliff before we reach the shore. Listen, I don't want to be a killjoy, but have you seen those big black clouds? Connor looks toward the island with obvious concern. The rain begins to fall. This storm doesn't feel natural. They turn to look at Arlene. You're the sailor, what do we do? Well, I'm not sure. Whatever we do, we risk foundering on a reef or getting swept out to sea. If there's a collision, I'm not sure that boat can take it. It would be disastrous. The rain pours down and thunder rumbles. Das heißt, wenn wir die Segel etwas zurücknehmen, dann riskieren wir, dass wir wieder raus aufs Meer getragen werden. Oder wenn wir durchpreschen, dann riskieren wir, dass wir auf die Riffe kommen. Das mit den Riffen hört sich für mich endgültiger an, deswegen Connor is sitting at the bottom of the boat, clinging to the rail. Oben ist das Deer-Symbol, hat kurz aufgeleuchtet, das heißt, das hat schon was bewirkt jetzt. The sea becomes more and more troubled. Losing no time, Duncan pulls a rope to trim the sail. The fragile skiff slows bit by bit. Everyone holds their breath. A few yards from the beach, the boat abruptly lists starboard and picks up speed, drawing dangerously away from the shore. We're not going to make it, get the oars out. Everyone works to fight against the current, but the ocean refuses to be mastered and the boat continues to drift. It hits a sharp outcrop before a wave pushes it in the other direction and carries them towards the beach. Without hesitation, Eric leaps into the water and pulls the boat up before it can get caught in the backwash. Connor sees something out of the corner of his eye. Brandon is overboard. Far away, a silhouette is struggling against the current. Duncan is ready to jump into the water, but Arlen can still take the lead. Sieht kräftiger aus irgendwie, Duncan. Duncan hastily removes his weapons and gear before plunging in the direction of the struggling man. The icy waters pierce him like 1,000 needles. He knows he doesn't have much time to act. If he stays in the water too long, his muscles will weaken and he won't be able to get back. When he's close enough, he realizes that it's Brandon, the carpenter. He must have fallen overboard when they hit the reefs. He's thrashing frantically, exhausting himself with his struggles. Duncan shouts to stay calm. Suddenly he disappears beneath a wave and doesn't surface. Duncan dives and grabs him by his tunic. The way back to the shore is difficult. Strong currents drag the two men towards the open sea, but he doesn't give up. Little by little he approaches the boat and the group. Eric comes over to help pull Brandon out of the water. The two men carry him higher up the beach, out of reach of the waves, and lay him gently on the sand. Brandon is unconscious. Jennifer kneels by the carpenter's head, concerned. He's unconscious, but he's breathing. She rummages in her bag and pulls out a small brown glass vial. Lifting his head with one hand, she waves the vial under his nostrils with the other. Brandon's eyes snap open and he splutters and chokes. Jennifer helps him turn over. When he's on all fours, he vomits up a quantity of salt water. She turns to the group. His life isn't in danger. However, his leg is wounded. I'll have to bandage it straight away. His breeches are torn and he has an ugly gash across his right shin. We should make a fire to warm him up. Good idea. Besides, Duncan is soaked to the skin. Duncan is shivering with cold. I'll go and collect some wood. Staying in wet clothes is a great way to catch a fever. I'll see if I can find a way inland. The driving rain has lightened to a fine drizzle, as if the Seers had willed this storm for their arrival. The beach is littered with wrecks, old and less old, and is surrounded by a high pale stone cliff. Freya gets up to catch Eric, while Arlen prepares to go seeking wood for the fire. Aha, jetzt können wir mit irgendwem mitgehen. Gehen wir mal mit Arlen mit. Arlen moves away. With all those wrecks, she's sure to find a few broken planks to make a fire. Behind her she hears Jennifer. Connor? Who, me? Maybe you could give Arlen a hand, don't you think? Connor looks surprised. That's to say, yes, alright. Dragging his feet, Connor joins Arlen. Arlen teases Connor. Say, do you think you could go any slower? Connor mumbles something under his breath. What's a city boy like you doing here? Oh, I just thought a bit of fresh air would do me good. And you, what are you doing here? Something tells me it's not to honor your clan like our northern friends. Arlen laughs. No, it's not to honor my clan, as you say. The healer of my village died. I agreed to try the initiation on the condition that the village agreed to take care of my brothers and sisters. Ah, I see. Big family? I'm the eldest. 3 boys and 4 girls. That's a lot of mouths to feed. Arlen picks up a piece of wood and hands it to Connor. She turns and looks him in the eye. Seriously, what are you doing here? I thought the city people didn't believe in the seers and the ancient gods anymore. Connor turns his face away. Oh, as you can imagine, I'm not here for pleasure. The temple sent me. Really? Why? I don't think they quite know what to do with me. And of course, my vast intellect does put the other novices in the shade. Connor gives a wry grin, then jerks his head towards a big rock. Let's go that way. Did you see that storm? That was weird, wasn't it? Arlen stops and thinks for a moment. Yes, it was weird. It is true, it's not normal, the clouds rolling in like that all at once. I suppose the seers aren't going to make life easy for us. What do you think? I don't really know. I'm not even sure I believe in the seers. Arlen is shocked. You know, at the temple they teach us that everything is ruled by the sun god, who is the only true god. Believing in the seers is considered as heresy. What's heresy? It's, you know, like a bad thought. They punish us for it. Arlen bursts out laughing. You're strange, you lot, the city folk. Connor suddenly looks serious. Look. Just behind the rock a boat is pulled up on the sand. Do you think it's fit to sail? Arlen approaches the boat. The hull looks solid. The sail's torn, but our own sail is fine. I think it's seaworthy, yes? It must be a recent expedition's craft, being in such good shape, don't you think? Yes, 2 or 3 years old at most, I'd say. Do you know if there's been an initiation that's completely failed recently? Completely failed? You mean no survivors at all, honestly? Arlen doesn't answer, but her expression speaks volumes. We should show this to the others. Yes, anyway, we got enough wood for the fire. The two return in silence towards the group. Ah, wood, perfect. Arlen makes a pit in the sand and lights the planks they've gathered with a firestone she pulls from her bag. A few minutes later, a cheerful blaze warms the weary travelers. Brandon has come round and he gets up, looking gloomy. Connor wants to speak, but he hesitates when he sees Freya and Eric heading towards them. We found a path. There's a stair that climbs the length of the cliff. A stair? How is that possible? I thought this island had always been uninhabited. And even if, I don't know who could have built such a thing. Hundreds of steps carved into the rock. All I know is that there's a path and I don't plan to take root here. Wait, I don't think it's wise to go to just charge ahead like that. Do the legends speak of this stair? I don't think so. I've never read any mention of it. But you're right. It wouldn't be a bad idea to put what we know together. What do we know about the trials ahead of us? Freya suddenly speaks. She seems to be reciting something she has learned by heart. We must reach the top of the mountain at the center of this island. Along the path we will have trials to overcome. The seers will give the sacred flame to those who reach the summit. The sacred flame bestows the gift of second sight, of divination, and of healing to those who are worthy, after we rejoin our respective clans as shamans. Freya lowers her eyes. Unfortunately, I know little more. My mentor prepared me as well as she could, but she never told me what happened on this island during her own initiation. The others are quiet. I have to admit I can't add much more. Leith, the shaman of my clan, is the only one who returned from his expedition. He never spoke of it either. Brandon gets up and limps a few steps. I don't want to die here. If someone had told me if I'd... Brandon breaks off with a blank gaze. Connor gets up and puts a hand on the carpenter's shoulder. There now, we're all in the same boat. Anyway, we're not going to leave you here all alone. With this wound, I'm going to slow you down a lot. I don't want to put the success of the whole group at risk. The injury isn't very deep and there's nothing broken. This time tomorrow you'll be walking normally. In the meantime, we'll find you a walking stick and you'll be able to keep up. Freya looks doubtful. You haven't seen the stair. It's really steep and with the rain the steps are going to be slippery. It will take hours to get Brandon up that way. Brandon looks hopeless. Dann sprechen wir gleich mal das Boot an. Connor clears his throat. We've found a boat, Arlene and I, while we were getting the wood. A boat? You mean something that's not a wreck? Yes, a bit further behind a rock. The hull looks sound, but the sail is torn. Maybe we could use it to go around the island. Oh, jetzt habe ich... Ach. Are you sure this boat can go to sea? Sure? No, I couldn't say that, but I believe Brandon is a carpenter. Brandon, you'll be able to tell us if the boat is seaworthy, won't you? Yes, no problem. We've been carpenters for generations, father to son in my family. I mean, I'm only the third son, but I'm just as capable as my elder brothers. I know about boats, I'm used to this kind of work. Perfect, in that case let's go see this boat. The group sets off. Okay, ich würde sagen, das war's für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao.